This video is brought to you by MagBak. Today I'm going to show you the best way to transfer all of your data from your old iPhone over to your new iPhone. Now, I've made a video on this subject just about a year ago, and this has helped thousands of people, but since then Apple have changed a few things, and I've also received some great questions from you that I'm going to be answering throughout this video as we go. I'll be transferring from my iPhone 15 to my new 15 Pro, but the same process will apply to all recent model iPhones, and this transfer is going to carry over everything from your apps to your music, messages, photos, even things like repair your Apple Watch and your settings, as well as your wallpaper, essentially mirroring one phone to the other. Trust me, this process is going to save you a lot of time, essentially carrying everything over in one go, no manual work necessary. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to show you how to erase your old phone so you can then safely sell it or pass it on without sharing any of your private data. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so before we get started with the transfer process, there's a few steps you're going to want to take to make sure that the transfer will complete successfully. And the first thing we're going to do is plug both phones into power. The last thing you want is for either phone to run out while the transfer goes through, as this can take several hours depending on how much data you are transferring. Now, I recommend plugging into a wired connection as opposed to a wireless connection, as wired is just that bit more secure. Next, we're going to go over to our old phone, which I have here on the left, and we're going to unlock and make sure that both your Wi-Fi as well as your Bluetooth are turned on. And these are going to be essential in order for your old phone to locate your new phone and for the transfer to take place. Now, the next thing we're going to do is check on the old phone and make sure that you're updated to the latest version of iOS that the phone supports. So we're going to go into Settings, then tap on General, and then tap on Software Updates. And if you have an update, make sure to do it before you start this process. Now, I've had a lot of questions in the comments about asking what if your old iPhone doesn't support the latest version of iOS. In most instances, that is completely fine. Just make sure that it is on the latest version that that specific phone will support. So again, go into your settings and make sure you don't have an update available. And if you do it before we get started. Great, and the next part has to do with the SIM card. Also had a lot of questions about this, about when is the best moment to move the SIM. And if you're moving a physical SIM like I am, this doesn't really matter so much. However, if you are transferring an eSIM, this will come later in the process. You don't have to worry about it now. But if you have a physical SIM card like I do here in the UK, this is a great opportunity to do so. So what I'm going to do is take the SIM tool that came in the box of my iPhone. We're then going to gently take out the SIM card, and then we're going to go ahead and place it right into the new phone. You can do this after as well, but I prefer to do this beforehand. Just one less thing to think about, and this means your number will of course be immediately carried over to your new phone. So go ahead and put that on the tray and slide that into the phone, and there we go. So we've now completed the pre-transfer checklist, as I like to call it. Phones are charging, phones are updated, SIM card is moved. Let's get started. Okay, so to get started with the transfer, you're going to have two phones in front of you, your old phone, and your new phone should be on what is called the hello screen. Now, this is the screen you see here. It will just show the hello word in different languages, and will be the first screen you see when you boot up your phone right after unboxing it. If, however, you've already started the setup process and you're already beyond this screen, don't worry. What you'll have to do is quickly reset your new phone to then start it from scratch and get back to the hello screen. Let me quickly show you how to do that on my old phone here. So first, you're going to go into your settings, tap on General, scroll all the way down to Transfer or Reset iPhone, and then we're going to click on Erase All Content and Settings. And from here, just simply follow the steps, and eventually you're going to end up back on this screen, which is the hello screen and is the starting point we need to start with the transfer. Great, so what we can do now is unlock the old phone, and hopefully you should be able to see a pop-up on your screen that will then recognize the new phone. If you don't see this, I suggest swiping up from the hello screen, and this can then trigger it again to show up on your old phone, and you'll see this set up new iPhone screen. If you still don't see it on your old phone, I would recommend restarting the new phone. So press and holding the side button as well as the power button, swipe off to then swipe to turn off, restart the phone, and this should then show the prompt. Now, if you still don't see the prompt, you may need to do an update on your new phone, in which case, don't worry, simply start this setup process, tap on English, you'll then connect to your Wi-Fi, and it will then prompt you to do an update on the new phone. Do the update, and then from there, once you try again, you should be able to see the pop-up show on your old phone. But this again is why you also need the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your old phone in order for this to show. Once we see this pop up on our old phone, we're going to go ahead and tap on Continue. Then we'll use Face ID to authenticate, and then we're going to go ahead and connect. So we'll now be connecting the two phones. And at this stage, we're going to scan the new phone with the old phone. So you have this pop up here, simply align it in the camera view here of the old phone. And there we go. You'll then feel a little vibration to make sure that it has successfully read it. And then we'll give it a second to pair the two phones. And here we go. So looking at the old phone, we now have the option to set up the new phone either for yourself or to create a separate child account. This will give you limited functionality. But I think for most people, including myself here, I'm just going to transfer everything over for me. So we're going to go ahead and tap set up for me. Now you'll be asked to enter the password. So this is the passcode that you use to unlock your old phone. Enter that on your new phone. There we go. Give that a second to load. And here we have data and privacy. Go ahead and tap continue. And then we're going to be asked to set up Face ID, as this is one of the very few things that won't be carried over from your old phone over to your new one. This is for security reasons, so we'll have to go ahead and reset this up on the phone. Let's go ahead and quickly do that together. So I'll go ahead and tap continue here. It will then show you how to set this up. We'll tap get started. Hello, I'll get my face here in the frame, like so. And then what you're going to do is fill the circle by looking around. Perfect. And then we also have the option to enable Face ID with a face mask if you like, or with or without glasses. I'm going to do that later. I'll just save it for that initial scan for now. And we're going to do don't use Face ID with a mask. Great, so Face ID is set up, we can tap continue, and then here is that crucial step of transferring the data. So what it's going to do is it's going to transfer all of your data directly from your old phone to your new phone. Now you also have the option to do this via iCloud if you tap on more options, or say from a different backup. My suggestion though is to just do it from phone to phone, as this is going to be the most reliable, most accurate way to do it. You're just going to get everything over from your old phone to your new phone. There's no confusion, and in my opinion this process works really well. Now I've had a lot of questions about how long will this process take, and this will depend on how much data you're transferring. It will depend on how good your Wi-Fi is, but in general it takes about, I would say, 30 minutes or so. But again, it can take many hours. It can even take up to 6 hours if you have a lot of data. My here currently says 5 to 10 minutes. Usually I find it slightly underestimates the time estimate, so prepare for it to take a little bit longer. What we're going to go ahead and do is tap on continue, and it will then initiate the transfer process. I've also had some questions of people asking, what if there's damage to the old phone? So for example, a broken camera unit or something like that. This should all be fine. As long as the phone is unlockable and you have all the credentials, so your Apple ID and your password, you should be fine to still transfer your data over without any issues. Now at this stage, we're going to be asked to agree to the terms on the new phone. Go ahead and tap agree. And as you can see, I'm going to sign into my iCloud. So this will carry over immediately already things like your contacts, your calendar, your mail accounts and all that. And then later it's going to do all the apps and all the media data as well. One of the things I really love about this is it really transfers over everything. So even things like your passwords, your wallpaper, your settings, everything will be carried over. And at this stage here, we get an overview of what it will bring. So you see all of your apps and data, all your settings, your wallet even, so your cards, also your Apple Watch. I'm going to show you how to repair that in a second. So everything really gets carried over. You do have the option to customize this, but I think for most people, and in this case, we're going to just carry everything over. So we'll go ahead and tap continue. And then we have the option to enable or disable location services. Now, I recommend enabling this, as some apps will require this, for example, your maps. Of course, you can fine tune this in the settings, and I have a separate video, a whole guide on my iPhone, which will show you how to fine tune this to maximize sort of privacy settings, but also still get the functionality out of it that you need. So I'll be sure to leave that video linked in the description. But for now, we're going to enable the location services. Now, here we have the option to add all the existing cards that you have under your wallet or under Apple Pay. Now, what you'll have to do is get the security code for those cards. You may need to get a text message on your old phone to confirm it. That's completely up to you whether you want to do that. I'm going to do that later. So I'm going to do add this card later, and I'll do the same with all my other cards. I've also had questions about whether things like loyalty cards or certain, say, train tickets that you may have in your Apple Wallet, and whether they transfer over. And the answer is that they do. All cards, including your bank cards, loyalty cards, everything should transfer over to your new phone. The only difference is that things like your credit cards, your debit cards will need that extra layer of authentication just for security. And here we have the option to share or not share your iPhone analytics with Apple. Completely up to you. Personally, I prefer to not share these, so I will tap not share. Here it gives a brief overview of the emergency and SOS features of the iPhone 15 series. These particularly apply if you're coming to one of the newer models, so things like crash detection, emergency SOS via satellite, which will let you reach out and call emergency services even without cell service. Really good to have these features, just like crash detection, something you hope to never need, but it's still reassuring to know that it's working in the background. So just gives you a brief overview of what they are. Go ahead and tap continue, and here we go. So we're now going to be transferring all the data from your old iPhone over to your new iPhone, and while you wait for this, just make sure both phones stay near each other and also plugged into power while we wait for this process to complete. While we wait for the data to transfer, one of the first things I do with any new phone is get some good accessories, and this is where MagBak comes in. Now, MagBak adds protection and also functionality to your iPhone, letting you mount it virtually anywhere. And this starts with the MagBak case. Now, it comes in a range of colors. Here I have it in black, and I especially like that you can now also customize the buttons. This is a really nice touch, and the case itself is made of a grippy and impact-absorbent silicone that is drop-tested for up to 6 feet. My favorite feature of the MagBak case is not only that it's compatible with MagSafe, but also with MagSticks. And this means you can basically mount your case to any surface by adding one of these MagSticks. So for example, a kitchen, a dashboard, or even a wall. And if the surface is already metallic, all you have to do is place the case to mount. The array of magnets inside the case also let you add accessories like, for example, the MagBak leather wallet, which is great because MagBak uses more magnets than traditional MagSafe, and this means that the magnetic strength is superior, in fact up to 2 to 3 times stronger, which for a wallet is key. MagBak went even further by adding extra functionality. For example, you can use the wallet as a stand, and it also has an integrated loop for grip, and the wallet holds up to 6 cards or cards and cash thanks to having dual pockets. And then lastly, there's the MagBak multi-charger. Now, this charger lets you charge your iPhone, Apple Watch, and also your AirPods all at the same time. And I really like this minimalistic design that I think will look great on any desk or nightstand. To upgrade your iPhone with MagBak, be sure to head to the links in the description and use code DION15 for 15% off your order. All right, so the transfer process has now completed. As you can see, transfer complete, and we now have a different hello screen over on the new phone. So what we can go ahead and do is slide to unlock, then we're gonna enter the passcode. That'll be the same as on your old phone. And here we go, restore complete. Apps and data will continue downloading in the background. Go ahead and tap continue. Now at this stage, specifically on the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max, we no longer have the mute toggle on the side. So it's just gonna show you how to change that, as that's now in Notification Center. And we have the customizable button here on the side. Go ahead and tap continue. Then we have the option to set a function to that button. Personally, I like to set this to the torch, but you can really set it to anything. Of course, you can also keep it as a mute toggle if you like, but I prefer to set the torch. And here we go. Welcome to iPhone. Swipe to get started. And as you can see, the wallpaper, even the widgets will now all be carried over and look identical to the old phone. You can see some apps are still downloading in the background. Don't worry, this will just happen over Wi-Fi. Shouldn't take very long to continue, but all the core data is already being transferred. Now over on the old phone, go ahead and tap continue, and then here we'll immediately have the option to erase this iPhone. Now I'm going to go back to this in a sec. First, we're going to tap not now, and I just want to show you that these two are in fact identical. So see the wallpaper, check out the widgets. You can see things like, even for example, let's go and use the location for that. Let's take a look at, say, our recent open apps. You can see that's even carried that over. So we have the watch app over here. Even that, you will find that right on the new phone. So when I say it transfers everything, it really transfers everything, which is so great. Things like your notification or your control center settings also all carried over. Photos, let's tap into photos. There we go, all there. Really, really great. You can see even all the photos, everything is carried over, and this you don't have to wait for. It is already there. And again, those last apps will just be downloading in the background, but that shouldn't take very long. Now, I've had a lot of questions about what to do if the transfer seems to be stuck or is taking longer than expected. In 9 out of 10 times, just leave it be. It may take a little bit longer than you may expect, but just let it do its thing. And most of the time, it will always be able to resolve itself and eventually transfer everything over. Again, expect it to potentially take several hours if you have a lot of data. If, however, it ever does truly get stuck, say you've waited 24 hours and there's still no progress on that bar and the transfer hasn't completed yet, you can always cancel it and just reset the new phone like I showed at the start of this video, and then restart the whole process. Because as long as the data is still on your old phone, you don't have to worry about losing anything, and you can just repeat the process. But again, this should be rare, but don't worry, as long as the data is on your old phone, you are safe. And well, currently we have it on both phones. So before we take a look at the old phone and show you how to restore this, let's go ahead and move over your Apple Watch, as you're also going to want to move that from your old phone to your new phone. So let's go ahead and tap here, try again. Now you should get a pop-up on your Apple Watch. If you don't, what we're going to do is launch the Watch app. So that should be pre-installed here. There it is on your phone. Tap on the Watch app, and here it is. Confirm on your Apple Watch. If we look at the Apple Watch, let's see here. And there we go. As you can see, this prompt will then appear on the Apple Watch, which says pair watch with new iPhone. So we'll go ahead and tap continue on that. Then we're going to enter the passcode of our watch. And there we go. So we're now going to wait for this to fill. So this will completely fill up in total. And again, that's going to transfer the all the data of your watch, all your settings, everything that's stored from the old phone over to your new phone. So it will be paired as before. And here we go. So I just felt my watch vibrate on my wrist, and we are now back to the watch face. You can see all the apps are there, just as we had it before. In fact, even if I switch my watch face, as you can see, everything is as it was. We can go ahead and tap continue here on the new phone. And as you can see, your watch will be carried over. You should have your watch name and all your watch faces and settings are all moved over as well. So we've now effectively paired the Apple Watch from the old phone over with your new phone. So now all the notifications, everything you get on your new phone will come over to your watch. Great, so now that we've paired and moved over the Apple Watch and we can confirm that all the data is in fact carried over, you can see all the apps have now downloaded in the background as well, your photos, everything is there. It is now time to erase your old phone, as this is of course what you want to do before you pass it on or say you want to sell it. You want to make sure you do this in a way that is safe and make sure that all of your data has been removed. But again, only do this once you're sure that everything is carried over and done so properly. So I would suggest keeping them side by side like this, maybe even wait a day and just go through your apps, make sure everything is running as it should. But once you've done those checks, it is time to erase the old phone. So how do we do this? Well, here we're going to go into the settings app, tap on general, scroll all the way down to transfer or reset iPhone, and then we're going to tap on erase all content and settings. And then from here, it will show you what it's going to erase. So in this case, everything. And then we tap on continue, and then we're going to tap on erase iPhone. Then you're going to tap in your password. So we'll do that real quick. There we go. And then it's going to also do a backup of your data. We're going to go ahead and skip that for now. So we'll tap on erase and skip the backup, then to type in your Apple ID password. And then we'll tap on turn off. And this is going to disable Find My iPhone. And it's also going to remove the activation lock from your old phone. This will allow someone to set it up again with their own Apple ID and not be locked out. So we'll go and tap on turn off and then wait for this to reset. This process typically goes quite quickly, maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so, and then essentially what's going to happen is your phone will be completely erased, all your personal data, your passwords, everything will be gone, and you'll end up on the same hello screen where the new phone started off. And this will then allow whoever you sell it to or give it to put on their own data or even restore or move things from their own phone, as we did in this video today. And there we go. As you can see, we've sort of come full circle. We went from the hello screen on the new phone to the hello screen on the old phone. And as you can see, the old phone has now been completely wiped and restored as if it were a new phone, meaning you can then safely hand it over to someone, a family member, a friend, or sell it for them to install their own data, and knowing that your data has been completely removed and is therefore safe. Now, the new phone is completely set up, and at this point, we're completely ready. You can start using your new phone with all your data where you left off. One thing I do still want to show you though is the best way to back up your iPhone to protect your data if ever, say, your phone is lost or stolen. Okay, so now let's take a look at backing up your data, as again, this is really important to do, and there's really two ways to do this for iPhone. And the first is via iCloud, and the second is via your Mac or PC, via a sort of manual backup. Now, my suggestion is to do this via iCloud Plus. However, the only downside with this is that you will have to pay for it. So iCloud, depending on how much storage you need, for 50 gigabytes will be $1 per month. For 200 gigabytes, which is what I have, it is $3 per month, which I think is more than worth the cost, as this is going to automatically back up your iPhone every 24 hours in the background. So every night when I plug my phone into charge, it will do a backup. I don't even have to think about it. I don't know it's happening, but I do know that there's always an up-to-date backup of all of my files, my settings, my wallpaper, my messages, everything stored in the cloud, that if ever my phone is lost or stolen, I can then restore from that backup without needing the old phone. So for me, that small price is really worth the peace of mind that that brings. So if there's one service I can wholeheartedly recommend, it will be iCloud Plus. I really think that's worth it. Just quickly show you how to set this up. We go into settings, tap on your name here in the top, and then we're going to tap on iCloud, and then tap on iCloud Backup. And then all you have to do is turn this on. I use this for my main phone, which is my 15 Pro Max. You can see that's a rather large backup, 113 gigabytes. So for me, I have the 200 gigabyte plan, more than sufficient, but I can also add this phone if I want. Simply turn this on, and again, it will do a backup every 24 hours to make sure all your data is up to date and you have a copy of that in the cloud. Now, if you want a free alternative to this, like I said, you can also back up to your Mac or PC. And this is great because you don't have that monthly fee. However, it will involve a little bit more work, as of course you do have to do the backup manually. So my suggestion would be to do it maybe once a week, once a month at the very least. Just plug it into your computer. It will also require you to have a fair bit of additional storage on your computer. You can see that my backup with over 100 gigabytes, that would take up a lot of space, space I don't have on my laptop or on my MacBook. So it really depends on your personal circumstances and what you prefer. Again, there is that more manual approach of doing it to your computer, which works fine too, just requires a little bit more manual work. And then there's the fully optimized version via iCloud, which works in the background at, I think, a relatively small fee. But most important is that you do one of these two. Having a backup is so crucial. Again, if your phone is lost or stolen, that already hurts because you've lost or had an expensive item stolen. But what would hurt even more is if your personal data becomes lost, say those memories, those photos, things you can't get back, and you can't really put a price on either. So having a backup via your computer or via the cloud is absolutely essential, in my opinion. So now that you've successfully set up your new phone, I highly recommend you check out my first 25 things to do video for any iPhone to get the most out of its features, battery life, as well as performance. And I'll be sure to leave that video linked on screen right now, as well as in the description. Let me know if you have any questions at all. Thank you so much for watching this video. If it did help you out, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe to see more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching and take care.